This morning, results around the country continue to trickle in. The swing states that have the power to call the presidential race.
We have team coverage on all the local and national races. Alicia Patillo live with when Nevada will release more results. Sean Delancey explains how the Electoral College works. And Kelsey McFarland watching the results of the questions on your ballot.
But first, let's take a look at how the latest Electoral College count is stacking up right now across the U.S. You can see the map on your screen. This is all according to the Associated Press. 89% reporting here. Now, you can see Donald Trump with 213, Joe Biden with 238. Now, a lot of different news organizations are reporting different numbers for Joe Biden, but Trump's pretty much staying the same at 213 here. Now, remember, they do have to get 270 electoral votes to win. And we, like we mentioned before, are still waiting to get the results from several swing states, including right here at home in Nevada. Overnight, officials here announced no more results would be released until Thursday. A lot to get to this morning, by the way.
Boy, tons, yeah.
Good morning, Las Vegas. Thank you for joining us live on TV, Android, or wherever you're streaming us. I'm Kalina Estrinos.
And I'm Dave Cormasier. The other major swing states we are tracking are Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Right now, President Trump is leading slightly in all those three states, according to the latest numbers from the Associated Press.
We have team coverage from Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Let's start with Scripps reporter Ryan Jenkins in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, explaining how things are going there.
Good morning. In Wisconsin, Milwaukee County is now reporting that 100% of the votes have been accounted for, and the unofficial results show that Joe Biden wins Milwaukee County by about 40%. There were roughly 460,000 ballots cast in Milwaukee County, and that includes about 169,000 absentee ballots counted in the city of Milwaukee. There's nothing abnormal to report about the reporting process here. The results were announced at around 4 o'clock this morning. The next step is to canvass and certify these results so that they can be official. Reporting in Milwaukee, I'm Ryan Jenkins.
Here in Detroit, election workers are entering their 24th hour of counting absentee ballots here at the TCF Center downtown. They started their job yesterday morning at 7 o'clock. To give you a little bit of a sense of the process here, there are 136 counting boards. 5 poll workers are assigned to each one. We've been getting incremental updates all morning, but we are still waiting on an updated absentee vote count total for the city of Detroit. Statewide, though, 3.3 million absentee ballots were cast. And just this morning, state election officials say hundreds of thousands have yet to be counted. Here in Detroit, we are on track to have a voter turnout of 55%. That's up between 5 and 7% from back in 2016. This morning, again, all eyes continue to watch Michigan. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. In Detroit, I'm Jen Shantz reporting.
Pennsylvania remains the focus of the country. 20 electoral college votes at stake. And the vote will really start to pick up again in the coming hours as poll workers return to their shift. In some counties in Pennsylvania, clerks told their election workers to go home, get some sleep, and come back on Wednesday morning. So we expect to have a clearer picture of Pennsylvania in the coming hours. Again, President Trump with the overnight lead. Joe Biden believes, though, he can come back. There's a lot of votes still out, and Democrats think Pennsylvania is still in play. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Okay, we'll have more from Joe St. George live from Washington, D.C. at 6:45 this morning. Now, as votes continue to be counted this morning, the message from the state is clear. Don't expect a final tally today. The election department announced no more results will be released until tomorrow.
We have 13 Action News reporter Alicia Patillo live right now with more on that last-minute decision. Alicia?
Good morning, Dave and Kalina. That is correct. Results will not be released until Thursday. Now, the county will resume counting ballots today. Today at 8 a.m. And even though the voting process did go smoothly yesterday, there were some hiccups. Take a listen.
We did have technical difficulties that we dealt with. Most of them were with connectivity to our poll book, but they were all dealt with, and we got all of our polling sites up and running.
Because of those technical issues, many polling sites experienced delays, and as a result, a judge ordered 30 locations across Clark County to stay open an hour longer after the Trump campaign filed a last-minute court order. The Clark County Registrar of Voters, Joe Gloria, says officials were instructed to wait until every person cast their ballot. Wait times throughout the day varied. While some stood in line between 1 and 3 hours, others saw no lines and cast their ballot without problems. According to the state election department, so far all in-person early votes have been counted, all in-person election day votes have been counted, and all mail-in ballots that came in by November 2nd have been counted. However, mail-in ballots still need to be counted. The state says it does not have an exact number on how many must be counted since every Nevadan was sent one, but not all of them have planned to vote. Again, back out here live, we are expecting to have results no later than Thursday, but they will, the county will resume counting at 8 this morning. Dave and Kalina.
Alicia, we saw you there yesterday. Much different scene than what we're seeing this morning. But what were some of the big takeaways that you saw or highlights that you saw from yesterday with all those people lining up to vote?
Yeah, great question, Kalina. For me, the biggest takeaway, and I think for a lot of people in line, were the first-time voters. We saw as young as 18 and as old as 50. That's not really old, but, you know, first-time voters voting for their first time casting their ballot, and they were just very excited. Everyone had their mask on. Everyone was social distancing and in good spirits, so it was really good to see.
I love that. All right, Alicia, thank you so much. We'll check in with you again in just a bit. We appreciate it. Time now, 5:05. The U.S. Postal Service will be the subject of a court hearing today after a ballot battle with a federal judge. Yesterday, USPS said it would not be able to meet orders to search processing centers for undelivered mail-in ballots. USPS argued it would disrupt Election Day operations. Now, the judge accepted its response of conducting the sweep a few hours before polls closed instead. However, the judge says it wants to discuss the initial lack of compliance with the court's order. Now, results are coming in right now in the race for America's next president, but the total there doesn't mean anything. The race is all about reaching 270 votes from the Electoral College.
13 Action News reporter Sean Delancey joins us live at the Grant Sawyer building to explain why that is and break down the states that are too close to call still. Sean.
Yeah, Colleen and Dave, we are getting updates by the minute out here. But first, the Electoral College is in place, particularly so that rural, less populated areas get some attention from Capitol Hill. If it wasn't around and it was all up to the popular vote, then it would all come down to those candidates never visiting these rural areas. They would focus mainly on urban city areas and focus specifically on their needs, leaving the rural areas out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Electoral College map, the way it stands right now. Right now, Joe Biden leads Donald Trump in the Electoral College race 238 to 213 based on Associated Press projections. But that lead doesn't mean much when every race is all or nothing and every Electoral College vote counts. Right now, Nevada's 6 votes are up in the air with Biden leading by less than a point at around 8,000 votes. And we just learned that our results will not be updated until tomorrow. Biden also leads in Wisconsin and is picking up a little bit of steam there. He's currently ahead by 21,000 votes, but a lot of votes remain to be counted in that area. Many believe that those votes are going to be mostly Democratic. Now, assuming Biden picks up those 16 Electoral College votes, it still leaves him 16 points short of the presidency. Now, President Trump is leading slightly in Michigan. Biden is getting a lot of ground there right now, but he's also leading heavily in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. And if the tide does not change in those states, Trump could get a total of 280 Electoral College votes and take the presidency. Now, in this scenario, Biden would have to hold a lead in the 2 states that he currently does, pick up either Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Georgia in order to take the presidency. Sean Delancey, 13 Action News.
It's all about the math. One of the key races in Nevada is for House District number 3. It's been a highly contentious race with incumbent Democrat Susie Lee going against Daniel Rodimer. Just 1 percentage point separates them at this point as we take a look at the numbers in Nevada. Last night, our crew spoke with Dan Rodimer, who says he's looking forward to more results coming in.
We feel great. I just looked at the numbers just now and just talked to a number of different people. And the thing is we had the whole entire election day. Did you see those lines? They're pretty crazy. So we are fired up. We're excited. And hopefully we get the rest of the numbers real soon.
Susie Lee's campaign released a statement last night saying, in part, while we know everyone's anxious to get results, we will patiently wait for every vote to be counted. With the majority of votes in, we feel confident that Susie Lee will maintain her current lead and is in a strong position to win re-election to Congress.
Now let's get to the latest on Nevada's ballot questions, some of which could change the state's constitution.
13 Action News reporter Kelsey McFarland is live to bring us the latest numbers on that. Kelsey.
Dave, Kalina, good morning. We've mentioned it before. This is the longest ballot in Nevada's history, with a lot of opportunity for residents to change the way the state views key issues like voters' rights and same-sex marriage. So let's take a look at the numbers that we've seen so far. Now, question 1, which determines how $1.2 billion of taxes are spent on Nevada higher education. If passed, it would give the state legislature the power to overrule the Board of Regents' decisions. Right now, over 55% of voters have said yes, while 44% of those voters have said no. Question 2 would amend the Nevada Constitution, removing the provision that only recognizes marriage between a man and a woman. Now, right now, more than 64% of votes have come in saying yes to amending the Constitution. And over 63% of voters also vote yes on question 3, which requires the State Board of Pardons commissioners to meet quarterly. Taking a look at question 4, another one that would amend the Nevada State Constitution, would ensure voter rights. This one getting the most support so far with more than 67% of those votes. And finally, question 6 requires electric utility providers to generate more renewable energy by the year 2030. And so far, numbers in favor of that with more than 61% of the votes. So far, we are seeing yeses across the board on all of those ballot questions. But right now, all of these numbers are considered unofficial. Much more on the key races coming up in just a half hour. For now, reporting live, I'm Kelsey McFarland, 13 Action News.
All right, thanks, Kelsey.
A deadly shooting at a Henderson apartment complex. Why police drew their gun at a man sitting in a parked car.
And a big change for the holidays. Why Park MGM is now adjusting its hours.
And the 15 South closed at the Northern Beltway this morning. It'll be closed for about another hour. I'll tell you how to get around it coming up.
Cool morning outside. We start off in the low 60s, but another warm, sunny afternoon. We could tie a record high today. I am still watching a dramatic drop in temperatures this weekend. We'll let you know exactly what we expect.